Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Norbert Bokor, your global family nutritionist. Today, I want to talk about the two types of nutrients. The nutrients are grouped into type 1 and type 2. The type 1 nutrients includes selenium, calcium, riboflavin, iron, pyridoxine, thiamine, iodine, cyanocobalamin or cobalamin, folate, niacin, copper, and vitamin and the fat soluble vitamins, which includes vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. While the type 2 nutrients includes the following. We have magnesium, essential amino acids, nitrogen, zinc, chloride, sulfur, sodium, phosphorus, potassium, and essential fatty acids. These are the two categories of nutrients. And these nutrients has a lot of effects in our lives as individuals, particularly children. Now, the differences between these nutrients are the type 1 nutrients are considered functional nutrients, which means that they are able to compose the functionality of the body, ensuring that the body parts or components or structures are functioning effectively. While the type 2 nutrients are considered growth nutrients. These are the nutrients that enhances the child to grow as the child ages. Then the type 1 nutrients are also variable in breast milk, which means they are not stable in breast milk as such, particularly if the woman is not properly nourished. The type 2 nutrients are stable in breast milk. The type 1 nutrient, when the child is deficient in these nutrients, there are clinical signs that are shown. The clinical signs manifest and they are visible. While when the child is deficient in type 2 nutrients, there are no specific signs for you to see. Though the child is sick, the child is malnourished, the child is deficient, but you will not be able to see any clinical signs in the child when the child is deficient in these type 2 nutrients. When the child is deficient in type 1 nutrients, the child continues to grow. But when the child is deficient in type 2 nutrient, growth ceases or the growth of the child becomes very slow and so need to be checked. The tissue concentration of type 1 nutrients are low or depleted when the child is deficient in the type 1 nutrient, while the tissue stores or concentration for type 2 nutrients remains. Because at any time that the body of the child senses that there's going to be less amount of food intake, the body begins to conserve the nutrients. And once it's conserving, it prevents the body from growing and thereby maintaining the tissue store, awaiting the famine or the hard times that may come in the life of the child. The type 1 nutrients, their deficiency are independent. They don't depend on each other to be able to have the deficiency manifest. Like the thiamine, the vitamin A, and those stuff, they don't depend on each other. when you are deficient in vitamin A, you suffer from xerophthalmia. When you are deficient in vitamin D, you begin to experience some of those uh, bone deformities or improper growth. While that of the type 2 nutrient, they are dependent on each other. When the child is deficient in one, it affects the rest. So when the rest are affected, it will definitely affect the growth of the child. And the type 1 nutrients, when they are absent or when the child is deficient, the child is not able to experience anorexia in a way. But when the child is deficient in type 2 nutrients, anorexia sets in. The child becomes anorexic. And the type 1 nutrient also affects specific enzymes. And that of the type 2 nutrient affects the general metabolism. Remember, sodium, chloride, all these are nutrients that are able to bring about stability, homeostasis in the body, so or fluid balance in the body. So when the child is deficient in these nutrients, it affects the general metabolism of the child. When the child is also deficient in the type 1 nutrients, there is convalescence, like when the child is sick because of the deficiency of type 1 nutrient, the child is able to recover. But when the child is deficient in the type 2 nutrient, the child is not able to recover within a specific period as expected. Recovery rate becomes very slow in the child. And when the child is also suffering from type 1 nutrient deficiency, there's no, the anthropometric figures for the type 1 nutrient deficiency are visible or are affected, while that of the type 2 nutrient are not. Another problem is another difference is when the child is deficient in type 1 nutrients, there's no diarrhea. But when the child is deficient in type 2 nutrient, diarrhea sets in because the electrolyte balance within the body of the child is destabilized, it's not stable. And once it's not stable, you have diarrhea setting in. There will be imbalances, and that can lead the child to suffer from diarrhea. And these are some of the differences between these type 1 and type 2 nutrients, which we need to check. I'll do videos on the various nutrient compositions or deficiencies that children suffer from, like thiamine, like vitamin A, like riboflavin. All these, I'll make a video indicating the deficiencies that children will suffer from when they are deficient in these nutrients. Thank you. Share with others and subscribe. God bless you.